So hello everyone, welcome to this another video of Spring REST playlist. I'm Abhishek Verma and in today's video we are going to learn how to consume XML input and how to produce an XML output. Till now you have seen that we were only working with the JSON data, but Spring REST can also work with the XML data. So what all changes needs to be done in the code? Do we need to add any other dependency? We are going to see all this in this video itself. So without wasting any more time, let's directly get started and see how the things are going to look like.
So now we are in the IDE, and before we start with our today's demo, first of all, let's do a quick recap what we did in last demo number 9. So for this, I'll go here into the UML diagram and let me increase the size a bit, something like this. I hope now it is clearly visible to all of you. So first of all, as you can see, we were having a demo class which was containing a main method and the important Spring Boot annotations. Then from there, we can move towards the controller layer. Now controller layer, we're having our methods, which I will be showing you in some time. Then from here, we were moving on towards the service layer. For the service, we were having one interface as well as the implementation class. And then we having the repository layer. Now repository was created with the help of Spring Data JPA. Besides this, we were also having one exception controller advice. We were having owner mapper as well as owner pet info mapper. For this, we were making usage of the map struct. Then we were also having the owner DTO. We were having the pet DTO. Both of them were having one-on-one relationship. Under pet DTO, we were having domestic pet DTO as well as the wild pet DTO. Yeah. Then you can also see that we were having the gender and pet type as enums. Then if we come towards the entity, we were having the base class, we were having owner class, pet class, under pet, we were having domestic pet and the wild pet. Then we were having two more DTOs, that is the error DTO as well as the owner pet info DTO. So something like this. Now from here, if I just move on straight to the top and then a bit towards the left, so you see we were having this owner controller. Now in the owner controller, in last demo, I shown you that, okay, we can do pagination as well as sorting. So by default, if we invoke the method find all owners, it was returning us a complete list and our list was having 72 owners. But what if our list has 1000 owners or more than that particular data? Then we don't need all the data all the time. So what I shown you was that we can make usage of pagination and sorting. Now, in order to implement this, what we can do is, first of all, we can make usage of simple request params, and there we can provide the values. That is one option. Another option is you can directly make usage of the pageable object. So that also can be done. Both the ways in the Postman are going to look similar only. Yeah, here there is only a change in the coding part. If you want to have it more custom, then you go for your request param. Otherwise, go for the pageable only. Then here we were facing one issue, that how we will come to know the overall size of the output, like how many total owners are going to be there, how many pages needs to be created. So how we will come to know that on the basis of the size per page. So for this, we can make usage of page also. So instead of returning a list, we can start returning a page. And whenever we are going to return a page, then it will contain the data as well as some extra metadata, which will contain information whether it is a last page or not, whether the data is sorted or not, how many total number of data is there, how many data per page is coming. So all those information were available with the help of this page. And this all we saw in the previous demo. For this, the interesting part was that we don't need to add any other kind of dependency. Yeah? Now, so let me simply close all of them. And now let's move towards the demo number 10. Now in demo number 10, first of all, the pom.xml looks exactly same. There is no big change. And here you see we were having Spring Boot starter. We were having the web, data JPA, MySQL, Lombok, MapStruct, all these things are there. Also, since I will be showing you the example with the input validation, that's why I'm taking the starter validation dependency also here. The complete explanation of the starter validation and how we are doing the input validation, that has been already covered in demo number 8. Yeah. Then from this, we can move on towards the controller layer, and that's the main thing which I can show you. Yeah. So in the controller layer, here you see that on the top we are saying @validated because we want to validate the input response. Then here today I have taken some selected methods only, like I have taken this save owner. Because in save owner, you see it is going to be a post request, and here the input is going to be a request body, which we are going to validate also. So here we will see that how to later on convert this request body in the XML format. Then next example I have taken with the find owner, and here we are making usage of the path variable. So here also I will show you that, okay, what are the changes with the help of path variable. So that will be shown here. Then here you see that we are having something like this request param. So this also I'm going to show you, and the output is going to be a list. Then here you see that we are not accepting any input. Output is going to be a list again. And here you see that we are making usage of the pagination. I'm directly making usage of this pageable object. Yeah, if you wish, you can go with the other option also, that is request param, and the output is going to be page here. So my main purpose for this particular demo was that I can show you that how you are going to replace the JSON input and JSON output with the XML input and XML output. You can do this with any kind of mapping. It doesn't matter. I deliberately didn't took the examples of the patch mapping, put mapping, or delete mapping, because for them, you see that in the input, I will be taking path variable only, or I may be taking some kind of request body only. So that example I will show you here only. Yeah. So it can be any example, it can be any method. The only thing is we need to focus how to accept as well as produce the XML here. Yeah. Currently, in the code, there is nothing that it can reproduce the XML data, or it can accept the XML input. Yeah. So first of all, let me just simply execute the code from here. So I'll go here and I'm just going to execute this. So let's see how it is going to look like. So yeah, it is working. And as of now, again, there is no change. So, okay, it says this dialect JDBC. The issue is I forgot to add the database credentials. So let me just go here in the open config. And what I will do is I'll go to some of the previous demo. And from there, I will be going to this environment. Then here I will be saying this control A. I will be saying this copy. Again, I'll go to this demo number 10. And here I'm going to say paste. And that's it. I will be saying apply and close. Yeah. So this is the only thing required. Again, sometimes I forgot, sometimes I add while preparing this particular part for you. So again, let's try to give it a start. So yeah, it is starting, and you can see that it has started. So let me just simply clear it. Now let's go to our Postman somewhere here. And here you see I have already created demo number 10. And here also we are having options of saving the owner, finding the owner, finding owner by pet date of birth, finding all the owners, get owner details as page. So all these options are available. So what we can do is that, since in the last time also I shown you example of page, so let me directly take you here and let me show you with this way. So here you see we are going to see the data on page number 0, size is 5, sorting is on the basis of last name and in the descending order. So if I just simply click on send, you see that it is showing me in the JSON format. So the output is in JSON format only. And if I show you with this find owner also, let me show you something as 70. So if I say 70 here, output is again JSON. If I make the error and I say something as 77, then in that case, I will be getting error message, but that is also in the format of JSON only. Yeah, I mean, here it is clearly visible. It is JSON. Same way here also it was clearly visible JSON. Same way if we wish to save any kind of data. So input also was in the format of JSON. Now the question comes is that I don't want to make usage of JSON now. Due to some of the things, let's say I'm working in a particular project where the whole management, the whole project team is working in XML only. So you can't say them that, okay, I learned this JSON thing only. I don't know how to work with the XML here. So that is not possible. You need to learn that thing also. So for this, what we can do is, first of all, let me just simply close it here. And the simple things which we can do is that here, first of all, let's start with this particular as get mapping. Now in the get mapping, if I just click somewhere here, so you see that here we are having so many methods available here. Out of these method, one of the important method is going to be your consume and produces. Okay. So consumes basically tells what kind of thing you can consume. And by default, it is always JSON. Same way when we say produces, by default, it is always JSON what you are going to produce here. So I will be copying this produces from here and I will be going to this owner controller. Now here you see, I'm not going to consume anything as such. You will say, okay, Abhishek, you are going to consume the owner ID. but that is in the path variable. For path variable, there is nothing like JSON or XML. It is path variable only. Yep. So what we will do here is that first of all, here I need to say value, because whenever now you are going to have multiple arguments, you need to make usage of the value. Otherwise, whenever it is a single argument, you don't need to say value. And then here I'm going to say produces. Now here, if you remember that this can accept a string array. So which means that here I can provide a string array, okay? And by default, it is going to look something like this, okay? So this is application/JSON. So this is the default thing, guys, yeah? And you never need to mention this, hence it is JSON. But what you can also do is you can just simply say here XML and it will start working in the XML way. Now there is one drawback of it. The drawback is that it is just a string. So what if I sometimes, let's say something like this, and then I will say, okay, my code is not working. Why? Because I have missed one P in the spelling. So instead of depending on this string, what you guys can do is that we can make usage of this media type, which is going to look like this. And with this media type, I will be saying here something as application. And here you see it is saying application JSON value. And also there needs to be something as application XML value. So we will be selecting this. Okay. Now, why this one is benefit over the string? Because here it will reduces the chances of any kind of mistake. Because now this is a complete enum, guys. Okay. So that means you can't make a mistake here. So this is going to be an easier thing in this particular part. So now let me just simply save it and let's again execute here. So we will go to this one and we will click on this particular as start. So let's see what is going to happen now. And as of now, I have done only for the one particular URL. For others, we will do later on. So here you can see we have again started. In this particular screen, as of now, you won't see anything new. So let's go back here and let's do it for this find owner. Let's do it for ID as 70 first of all, so that we can see the output. So here we say, and yeah. So it says no converter for class with preset content type null. It says something like this. Okay. So what it basically means is that here it is trying to change the data. Okay. But here it says that content type is null. Now what is the issue? So the issue is that currently whenever we are going to say something like this in the body, it is none. Okay. So here it says that with this preset content type null, there is nothing. Okay. And if we go to this particular one, let's say here. So here also you see that what it did, it was able to fetch the data from the database. Then till service layer also it came. Then here you are saying XML. But then it is not aware of any kind of converter which can convert this data of the owner DTU. So that is not available here. Now, in that particular case, when your converter is not available, then what needs to be done? So for this, let's go back to this again. So here, and what I will be doing is that I will be going to this DTO first of all. So here, let's go to this owner DTO. Now, whenever you need to produce something in XML, so number one change which we need to do is that here we need to say produces and XML. That is one. Another thing is that since now see what it is going to return. It is going to return you an owner DTO. So upon this owner DTO, here by default it is meant for JSON only. But there you are saying XML. So that means it needs to be converted from JSON to XML. Yeah. Now how to convert it? For this, here we need to make usage of an annotation. And that is going to be something as JSON, and here it will be XML, then it is going to be root, and here it is going to be element, guys. Okay. So this is the name of your annotation. That is JSON XML root element. But the problem is currently this annotation is not available. So one more issue. So for this, the issue is that, as I said, by default, XML is not supported. Which means that now it's a time that we need to add a particular dependency here. Yeah. Now, the name of that particular dependency is JSON data format XML. Let's see how we can get it. So for this, we will go to this MVN repository, and here we are going to say JSON, and after this JSON, it needs to be as data format, which is going to look like this. And then we need to say XML. So this is the name of the dependency. JSON data format XML. So we will be clicking on this one, and here let's go to the latest version, and from here let's copy this. So I'll copy the complete thing, and let me come back here into this particular part, and what I'll do is I will be pasting it here. So it sounds like it looks very odd whenever you simply switch from a light mode to dark mode and something like this, but yeah, we don't need to do that again and again. Now here it says the moment you are adding it, it says that okay, already there is a managed version, so you don't need to mention this version here, and that particular part you can simply remove what's happening. So let me remove it like this, and yeah, so I'm removing it completely from here. Let me say Control A, and I will be clicking, and here, I mean, there must be somewhere the option to, I mean, format it. So here let's say format, and yeah, this looks here. So format. So this is the dependency which we need to add, that is JSON data format XML. Now you will say that okay, Abhishek, we are making usage of Spring Boot. Can't we directly take help of Spring Initializer for this? Answer is no, because you see this particular dependency is not coming from the Spring Boot. Like Mapstruct was not coming from Spring Boot, Lombok was not coming from the Spring Boot. So you need to take it from the MVN repository only. Okay, directly there is no way in the Spring Initializer, and that's the only thing which you need to do. Now let's go back here, and this time again let's try to say Control Shift O. Now you see it is providing us something like this. And now let's again try to execute the things. So I will go here and I'm going to restart my application. So yeah, let's see how it is going to look like. So again it has restarted. Let me simply clear from here. Let's go to this one, and again let's say this one as send. Now you see it is showing me the output. Yeah, and this output is automatically in the XML format. Yeah, so here that is the point, guys, that automatically this is in the XML format. So you can see ID, first name, last name, gender, city, state, each and everything is available. Then this is pet DTO, and now you see within the pet DTO here it is mentioning you the category. So category is not coming as a variable, instead it is mentioning that okay, this category is wild, and then all other details are coming. One strange thing you will see is that for all these variables, for each and everything, it is starting with a small letter. Okay, the ID, first name, and each and everything. Even for this pet DTO also it says small letter. Here also it says, because here pet DTO is a variable. Then within pet DTO, owner DTO was a variable. But this owner DTO O is capital. Okay, so it doesn't looks good that okay, here it is in capital. So what we can do is that just in order to make it bit more sync, what you can do here is that here you can give some kinds of brackets in this particular way, and within those brackets you can say here that okay, I will be making usage of a local name. So here we will say it like this, and yeah, this is going to be your owner DTO, whatever the name you would like to see there. So I would like to see owner DTO name only. So by default class name was coming, but I want OS small. If you say no, I just want to see owner, so you can write that particular part also. Okay, so here we are going to write it in this particular way. And now let's do it again. So let me go here and let me just give it a start. Okay, so here again it is getting started, and yeah, let's see how much time it is going to take. So it has started. Let's go back here again and let's again execute. So now you see, now it is working fine, and now this O is in small. So this is working. So it was that easy. You just need to mention in the produces that now you are going to produce XML, and then you need to add a dependency, and then on that particular owner DTO you need to mention JSON XML root element. Yeah? And then this name is your choice. It's that simple. Now let's try to run. So for this, let me just save it as of now. Now let's try to execute this one. So for this, as of now, we haven't made any change. So if I will just execute it, you see by default, it is still showing JSON. You will say that, okay, Abhishek, within this owner DTO, we have mentioned that annotation. So alone that annotation is not going to do the job, because although on the owner DTO, you mentioned the annotation here. So if I go to this particular one, so although we mentioned this annotation here, but for this second one here, I'm not saying that you need to produce XML. Hence, by default, it is JSON only. Yeah? So that is the point, guys. So what needs to be done? So I will be just simply copying it from here, and I will be pasting it somewhere like this. And obviously, now I need to say here as value. So this you need to do. Yeah. Again, for this, you don't need to make usage of consume, because you see both the request param you are going to accept in the URL itself. Then same thing we can do for this particular one, get mapping also. So again, I will be doing something like this here. And here I'm going to say produces, and this is going to be your XML. So here also I will say that, okay, I wish to produce XML here. And then same we can mention here also. So I will be writing it like this. And here I'm going to say this comma, and let me remove it from here. And here, let me say it as value, and again, something like this. So for all these, I just need to say produces and XML. So automatically this is going to work fine. So now let me just quickly execute it again. So now if I execute, so it is taking some time. In meantime, if you wish, you can subscribe to my channel, and that is also very easy, guys. Yeah. So let's go here. So for this one, so let me just simply execute. And now you see it is showing me their data. And again, this particular XML format automatically. I didn't mention anything explicitly here. Yeah. And here, since it is a list, so it is showing you in this particular way that overall it is a list. Within that, all these are your items. So all these are mentioned as your item 1, item 2, item 3, and something like this. Okay. The correct format. Here it is not going to show you in entire owner DTO. Yeah. So owner DTO is not going to appear. Same way, let's try this find all owners. So here if I do, so again you see list and then item. So this is also working fine. And same way if we try for this page, so here also there is not an issue. The only thing is that this time it is going to return you a page. This is not a list. So here it says page IMPN because of that page. Okay. And within the page, this time here you see these are your content. Then there are other things also like page number, page size, all these things are there. But automatically it is making usage of what we say as XML format. Okay. So this is how things are going to work, guys. Yeah. Now you will say that, okay, Abhishek, for all these, we were only producing something. But what if we need to accept something, that is save owner? So save owner, you see currently it is looking like this. It's in the JSON format. So what we need to do? First of all, we need to change it to as XML, something like this. Okay. So here we need to say XML. Next thing is that we need to change this data to XML format. Now there are two options. First option is that since already you have got some data here, so what you can do is you will be copying this whole thing, then you are going to paste it here, and then you are going to replace the things. Yeah. So that is one option. Another option, what we can do is we will copy this data. Okay. And from here, we will go to this particular one. And here, this is the website, jasonformatter.org. Here, there are multiple tools, JSON beautifier, JSON parser, XML formatter, JS beautifier, and so many tools are there. One of the tool is JSON to XML. Online, there are many other tools, but this one is completely free. Hence, I'm showing you something like this here. So here you see the moment I have pasted this, it says that, okay, this is the XML part. So I'm not going to copy the complete thing. I'm just going to copy this much. No need of this first line. Okay. So only this much we will copy, and I will be coming back here, and let me just paste it back into this particular part. Yep. So here you see it says first name, last name, gender, city, state, mobile number, email ID, and this pet DTO. Yeah. If you wish, you can add that owner DTO part also on the top. If you wish, you can simply leave that part. So as of now, let's just add it as a good practice. So here we are going to say owner DTO, and what I will do is I will be coming here, and here also I'm going to say owner DTO, and on the top I will say here beautify. Yeah. So this is how it is going to look like. And now let me say here send. So it says 73. So automatically it is going to accept the things. So when you are mentioning XML here, then also it is just simply accepting the things for you. So that is the magic, guys. Yeah. Another thing which you can do is that if you wish, you can go to your code and here explicitly. So now the thing is that it can accept the XML also. It can accept JSON also. But if you say, no, I want to accept only XML, then in that case, we can just go here, and here we can say consumes in this particular way. And here we will say again this media type. Okay. So now it is only going to accept XML. Now there is no chance it can accept JSON. because you are saying I will be only consuming the XML here. So this is the change, guys. Yeah. Now after this, let's try to make some more changes. So what we will do is we will go back here, and this time I will go to this find owner, and here let me say as something as 77. Okay. Now let's see what it will do. So in this case, when I say 77, then you see it is still returning me JSON. Here it is not returning me XML. Okay. The reason why this one is not working, because when I am having any kind of error, then the output is in the error DTO. Okay. So as a good practice, what you should do is that on all the DTOs where you feel that it is kind of some kind of input or it is some kind of output, you should be making that annotation. So we will go to this owner DTO, and here let me just simply copy, and what I'll do is I will go here, and here I'm going to mention something like this, and here let me call it as error DTO. So I will say it like this, error DTO. Okay. Same way, what I'll do is that I'll go to this particular as pet DTO, and here also we will mention, although it's not an issue for pet DTO, it was working automatically, but the thing is about syncing. Later on you may forget like in future that how it worked, so it's better that you sync the things. Okay. And same way in this owner pet DTO also, let's try to do it, and here I will be saying owner, then I will be saying this pet, and I will be saying owner pet info. So here now let me again execute the code, guys. So again we are executing, and let's see whether it is going to work or not. So yeah, it is working. Okay, it is still taking some time. Okay, it started. So now let's again try to execute. So okay, this is still not working. Why so? So although if you see, we made a change. Okay. So here what we did was we went here and we made a change, something like this in the error DTO, that okay, this is JSON XML root element, and this is how it needs to be done. The dependency is also there. So what do you think what we are missing? The thing is, if you see, when we are in the owner controller, we were explicitly saying produces XML value and something like this. Okay. But now it is going to throw you the exception. So let's say this find owner is throwing you the exception. So where it will go? It will go to your advice. And when it will go to your advice, here again, by default, nothing is mentioned. So it will show you in the JSON format only. So here also in the exception handler, we need to say XML so that it will start producing this only. Okay. So here we will say this, and here we will say this. Again, we will do it for all. Okay. So that for the syncing purpose. So here I'm going to do for this also. I will be doing it for this also. And let me just save it again. And here we will go back again. So again, let's see what happens. So again, it is trying. So, okay, it is taking some time, but yeah, it is working. Okay. Yeah, it did. So let's go back again here and let's again see. So this time you will see that, okay, it is showing you here also error DTO and everything. Why? I mean, on that particular class, it is mandatory so that here it can start giving your name and it can easily convert the things. And on the methods, obviously it is mandatory so that it knows that, okay, I can produce this thing also. Otherwise, by default, it is always JSON only here. So that is something which we need to understand. Now, few more extra things. The question is, can we consume as well as produce? So is it possible that in the consume also I mentioned this XML and produce also? Is it possible? The answer is yes. Here in all the examples you see that here when I'm saying consume, so only this request body was there. Output was just an integer, nothing much. So it was simple. I don't need produce. And in this one, the input was in the URL. So consume was not needed, so only produce. But let's say you are having some kind of put mapping. Then you are having some request body also and you are returning something also. So you can have both consumes as well as produces. Now, if you will explicitly write like this consumes or produces, then it will work only for the XML. Now it is not going to work for the JSON. Okay, because now it doesn't know. So in that particular case, what you can do is that you say that, okay, Abhishek, what if I want to accept as well as return both JSON as well as what we say as this XML. So in that case, what we can do? So here, one option which you guys can do is that first of all, let's do for this particular one. Okay. So I will show you only for one. Instead of saying media type XML, what we will do is, if you remember, it was an array. So an array is going to look like this, obviously. Okay. So this is the point. Now what I will do is within this array, I will be using a comma and I will be providing two values. Okay. It can be any of the two values. Okay. Order can be anything. And here I'm going to say JSON this time like this. Okay. And then we will go back here and let me just simply execute. So now if I will execute, let's see what it is going to do. So this time I'm saying it can produce XML also. It can produce JSON also. So let's go back here and we only did it for the find all owners. Yeah? So let's click on this send. So you see by default, it is returning me this XML only. It is not returning me JSON. One of the reasons can be that XML was coming before JSON. So this, but what if I need to accept the JSON only here? Now, what should I do? Do I need to go back there and change the order? Answer is no. Instead, you go to this headers and here you see in the accept, we are saying slash. Okay. So what you do, you remove this one and you write your own header, something like this accept. And here you say application in this particular way slash JSON. So now you explicitly say JSON here. So it will accept only the JSON. So now you click on this one and you see it is saying JSON only. If you will say slash star and something like this, then it is choice. It can be XML, it can be JSON. And that will depend what you have written here first. If you have written XML first, XML will be given priority. If you will say JSON, JSON will be given priority. If you won't write anything, only JSON. If you will say only XML, then obviously only XML. But when you want both, and from here you need to decide. So here you can say accept. So then you can mention what you want to accept here. Okay. So then this will work. Same way in the save owner also. So here also it may happen. I want to consume XML sometimes. I want to consume JSON sometimes. So what to do? So one option is that you will go here. You will again make an array and put a comma and you will say XML comma JSON. Again, one thing. Then the second thing is for this, you will go here and like here it is very simple. Okay. I mean, here you don't need to do anything. In the content type, automatically this will change. Okay. So if you will choose XML here, this content type will automatically become XML. And if you will provide JSON here, automatically it will. So when you are passing, then it's not a big issue. Why? Because here you can choose whether it's an XML or JSON. So we are automatically setting the headers instead of star or instead of slash, you are setting the things. But when you are accepting, then you need to write explicitly accept this only or accept XML only. So now let me just execute the same thing again. So you see still JSON. And now what I will do is I will go here and I will say XML. Yeah. So here, then it is going to provide me this XML only. Now you will say that, okay, Abhishek, what if I want to accept both XML and JSON at the same time? So, I mean, same time that we have already did, but it is not possible that you are going to invoke an API and in a single output, it will give you JSON as well as XML. That is not possible. That is like you are communicating with me and at same point of time, I'm speaking in English as well as Chinese. You won't understand anything. Okay. So either you will be getting an XML or JSON, depending what you have mentioned here and what all types are possible in your code. So this is how the things are going to work, guys. So just few main things to remember here. Make usage of produces and consumes. If you won't use consumes or produces, by default, it is always JSON. You don't need to mention JSON explicitly. Yeah. Second thing, in all your DTOs, remember to add JSON XML root element. This will do the job of converter, and here mention your local name so that it will start appearing there. Okay. Just for the consistency. Otherwise, it will choose the local name on the basis of class. And so that this annotation can work here in the pom.xml, you need to add JSON data format XML. And that was super easy. Okay, so trust me, now you know how to accept as well as consume, how to consume as well as produce both JSON and XML. So whatever the previous demos we have learned in JSON, same all of them you can implement with XML also. Yeah, if you find it helpful, do like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. Let's see you in the next video. Bye bye.